spend, spend, spend. That's the whole secret, I guess. Spend, spend, spend. Oh, let's take a little peace and quiet. Give ourselves some time. Every day, as I said, if you give yourself a few minutes of meditation, you will live longer. Your blood pressure drops up to 5 or 10%. You have a wonderful opportunity just to clean your mind and flow and get into the spirituality of life itself. Think about something beautiful. Your cat, your dog, your children, and something like this. This is for you. Think about swings. Here you go, guys. I want you to know I do not select the meditation photos. That was the most beautiful photo of swings I've ever seen, however. Next time we'll have something sweet and different, I'm sure. Somebody reminded me that Charlie Rangel, who Mort had mentioned, was convicted of stealing money, not paying his taxes, millions in taxes. Here's a member of Congress who's a leader. I mean, he's the head of the Ways and Means or something. He's very, very powerful. And he's been lying. It's all kinds of charges. They were all confirmed. He was convicted of everything. And he is getting severely punished. They're going to put a letter in his file saying he was naughty. There you go. Don't try to fool around with Congress. A letter. Oh, God, you and I'd be in jail for the rest of our lives. Oh, God. Boy, that sounded... I guess because he's not much different from all the other congressmen. That's why they didn't punish him seriously. Dr. Scott Bedwell is with me. He's going to talk about medicine, some of the new things happening in medicine, what he does. He's going to, if you want to call him and ask him about the new developments in medicine, such as my eye surgery, where it takes 15 minutes to break up your old lens and put a nice new one in through a pinhole, and you can see like you were 40 years ago. It's wonderful. Some people have this surgery done just because they want to see without having to drag glasses around with them. I gave mine all to the Lions Club. They collect old glasses, and I don't know what they do with them. About when I lived in Paris, there used to be about a 4-block area, which was a huge flea market, but 4 blocks of it every Sunday was glasses. They had the glasses street, and you'd just go down, everybody go down and try glasses until they found some that were pretty good for them, and they'd buy them for $1 and off they went. They had their glasses for the next year or two. I don't know what the Lions Club does. They must have a procedure. Okay, at any rate, Scott, I'm going to call you Scott, okay?
Yes.
Dr. Scott Bedwell. You practice in Westfield, in the Westfield Hospital. I know that. And you have another practice somewhere?
Yes, I'm at St. Vincent's Hospital in Erie.
Good, very good hospital, especially for vascular surgery and cardiac surgery. My daughter did her training there as a nurse.
Oh, really?
But she's in the other one now.
Over at Hammett.
Hammett. So anyway, what got you into medicine? Your father was a doctor, or you had an inspiration, or what?
My parents tell me that I wanted to be a doctor from the time I was a little boy.
Uh-huh.
I always thought the story was my father wanted me to be a doctor. My dad, he's passed now, but he did many different things, but medicine wasn't one.
Look at the TV screen, the camera. See those little cameras?
Okay.
The one that has the red tally light is the one that's on you. And you're not talking to me.
Oh,
you're
okay.
talking to about 2 million people out there who will be watching this online and locally, okay?
All right, a little intimidated.
Right, so you want to look at them.
All right.
And they're all smiling, you notice?
I can see, yeah, I can see.
Oh, well, Scott, so you were inspired. And what do you have to do to be a doctor in your business? You're a surgeon, right? General surgeon.
I'm a general surgeon. Training in general surgery, you do 4 years of college and then 4 years of medical school and 5 years of post-grad training after medical school. Some programs are 6.
Oh boy, so is that, how do you get through all that?
A day at a time.
Day at a time.
Day at a time. It's actually a very exciting time. You don't really realize that the time is passing. You're very involved in the day and in all of the things you're trying to learn. And truly, it was my passion. It was what I wanted to do. It's what I imagined myself doing when I was a little boy. And it was exciting.
Well, it's expensive, too.
A lot more today than it was when I did it.
Oh, yeah? What's it cost today? It must be, a couple $100,000 or something.
I think students are coming out of their training programs with about $100,000 plus in debt right now.
Which they have to work for years to make up, I guess.
It's daunting. A lot of folks are joining government programs, doing military scholarships or underprivileged scholarships. It's a very, very difficult time to train.
But it is fulfilling.
It's a great profession, and I'm very blessed to be part of it.
Many modern things have happened, like my eye surgery. My wife had they found she had a hole in her heart in the septum. It was a septal deviation. And she went into Cleveland. And fortunately, I knew that I was very fortunate to know the director there, the president of the Board of Trustees, who was a surgeon himself many, many years. And she had a special, at that time it was fairly new, whereby instead of cutting you open, cracking the heart, the chest cavity in the heart, which is a big deal, they just went up through her leg and they had this little gadget that went in, and it's called an occluder. And they snapped it on, and it plugged the hole immediately, pulled the little wire out, put a bandage on, said, "You're done, goodbye." And she's been fine ever since, physically anyway. And so this is one of the miracles that's taken place, whereby they do not have to actually crack you open.
There's a lot of things in medicine. I think the biggest in my time frame has been the advent of laparoscopic surgery.
What's that?
Laparoscopic surgery is where you make miniature incisions, put instrumentation into a body cavity and do the surgery that we used to do with large incisions. It can be done in the chest cavity or it can be done in the abdominal cavity. And it's kind of been around long enough. I guess I did my first case in 1991. Gynecology was using laparoscopic surgery back in the 80s, where it's kind of old hat, but the limits of laparoscopic surgery continue to progress. The advantages are smaller incisions, perhaps quicker recovery time, with the same results that a large incision would give you. So it's an exciting field in abdominal surgery and in thoracic surgery. That's one of the biggest in my time. There's a lot going on in all fields of medicine, though. New techniques, newer ways to do it, smaller incisions, more accurate and predictable results. It's exciting, Reed.
The question comes up, there are different kinds of medicine, we'll put it that way. There's kind of a war going on, not really a war, but a difference of opinion in terms of the surgeon, the knife versus the alternatives. Now there's some alternatives here.
Well, there's always alternatives. In fact, as a surgeon, one of the things you're supposed to instruct before you recommend a surgery to a patient is what else could be done. And for a long time, there has been alternatives prior to surgery before we were able to safely operate. And it really is an exciting time because these alternative medicine visits, alternative medicine would be a non-surgical approach to a surgical issue, or even a non-medicine or pill approach.
Almost anything, huh? Yeah.
And they've been around forever, but we fell in love with our technology and kind of forgot about those things, and it went into a counterculture. But alternative medicine visits in the United States, there are more visiting alternative medicine physicians each year than there are traditional Western medicine physicians. that can go anywhere from homeopathy to prayer to hands-on. There's a lot, Reed.
I see the ads for the cancer centers, and they always have somebody there who's living on happily ever after. Probably 1 out of 90, 1 out of 100, because I suspect they lose as many people as a regular hospital does. But they care for them carefully and give them what they can, and they emphasize this all-around care, which includes a spiritual.
Absolutely.
Which is very important. There's more to it than just the pills and the surgery.
Well, I think absolutely essential to any treatment that we perform is that we have to first address spirit. We know that when we talk about patients or we talk about ourselves, we talk about mind, body, and soul. And we have psychiatrists for the mind, we have physicians for the body, but who addresses our soul, and do we even attempt to integrate our soul into our wellness?
There you go. We got a phone call. You want to take a couple calls there?
Sure, I'd love to.
Oh, okay, Maura. Thank you for waiting. Caller, you're on.
Okay. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm wondering, as I understand it, there are only going to be 3 inpatient beds in the hospital. I'm wondering if the hospital can function with just those 3 beds.
Now, madam, you're talking about the Westfield Hospital, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Well, certainly the hospital believes it can function with 3 beds as a beginning point. The battle that Westfield community has waged...
Yeah, give us a little background on the battle, because a lot of people aren't aware of that.
There was a commission in New York State that went around looking to cut hospital expenditures, and the hospitals do receive state funding. The Berger Commission identified multiple facilities throughout New York State and said these are non-essential facilities, and issued an edict that they would close doors by a certain time frame.
Right.
Well, the Westfield community was one of the Westfield Memorial Hospital was one of those hospitals identified to close. And the community waged a wonderful battle, a very spirited and heartfelt battle, with letters to the state and multiple petitions to keep the hospital open. And they have won that battle. There were certainly lawyers involved, there were administrators involved, but the community itself really won the battle. In fact, there was a statement from one of the legislators in Albany who said, please ask Westfield to stop sending us letters. We have no place to store them anymore. But you didn't stop. So now the hospital is received its accreditation, and it's going to move forward and try and provide care for the hospital. The challenge is, what care does it provide? How does it meet the needs of the community? And in addition, it has to be able to be fiscally solvent so it can stay open.
Right.
Is 3 beds enough? I don't know the answer to that question.
Are you limited to 3 beds now? This report just came out last week, right?
And I honestly, Reed, haven't had a chance to read it yet. But I look at the hospital as something that will evolve as it proves itself able to do the things it needs to do.
And that would be great.
You know, we have now physicians that'll be manning the right on site in the emergency room during daylight hours. We will be able to provide care in that arena. The surgery portion of the hospital always has been open and has been served well by the physicians in this area. St. Vincent's physicians, of which I am one, are moving into this zone to help provide care in a surgical arena that can be done safely with limited support staff. So is it a surgery center with overnight stay abilities? And I think that's where we're first going to explore.
Okay.
And you also have testing there, right?
And a good imaging center.
And medical facilities for prescriptions and what have you? And
yeah, the hospital...
Rehab too, right?
Rehab. The hospital right now is in a state where it can reinvent itself. And it'll invent itself in a way that the community says it needs, so that we can provide that care for the community.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, caller. You should send me a stamped envelope. I'll give you some $5 off over at the Lakeview, that lovely little restaurant at the foot of the hill here in Mayville.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call. Callers, you can call in now right up until 10 o'clock. We're live on the air. Senior Report with Reed Powers. It's repeated all over the county, Northern County. Just check with your local access, they'll tell you when it's on.